All right, combateers, welcome to the second Combat Arms Twitch live stream. We are broadcasting live from sunny Southern California, Nexon America headquarters. I am Zhishkov, Combat Arms North America production manager. With me are Brozuka, our community manager. He's moderating the chat stream. He'll be relaying your questions and suggestions over to me. And controlling the NXCA Twitch Combat Arms account is Associate Production Manager Gray and Red. So today we're going to do a little less Q&A. We're going to be talking about a more specific topic. We're going to be talking about the Tau weapons. We're talking about where they came from, what our goals were with them, and what we'll be doing with them in the future. So before I go right into that, I do want to say that we're actually running a promotion off the Twitch stream. If we can get 200 simultaneous viewers on this Twitch stream, and I'm being told that I'm very quiet. I can talk louder, that's another option. Or we can try and turn up the volume. Is this any better? Am I louder now? Check, 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 check. All right, well, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to talk louder, which is going to be bad for the people in the room with me, but good for you guys. So as I was saying, if we can get 200 simultaneous viewers on this Twitch stream during the next half hour, we will run a hot time event for Saturday and Sunday. Anybody who logs in gets free black high set tickets. So tell your friends, tell them to tune in. www.twitch.tv/combatarms. Also, another promotion we have going on right now is our Friday fan voting. We asked you to pick your favorite map, whether it's Rattlesnake or Slaughterhouse. My understanding is that the voting is very tight right now. We're going to be waiting for updates from Brozuka. Hopefully I can announce the winner, or if we might just extend the voting, see if you guys have a little more chance to try and pick your favorite, which one's going to get bonus EXP and GP for the whole weekend. Sorry, for Saturday, not the whole weekend, like that. So, Tau weapons. That's what we want to talk about today. We're following your feedback about the Tau weapons on the forum. A lot of questions, a lot of feedback. So we want to just talk about what the plan is with them. So the first question was, why these specific weapons? Why LA5A1 and the M60? And it's using not this microphone, but that one. Let's see what happens. Can you guys still hear me?
Out of ammo!
Round start.
I checked the mixer before we started, and it said it was using this headphone. Also, being asked to turn down the game volume. So he's going to drop out of the match and fix this. We apologize. This is only the second time we've done this. We're still smoothing out some bumps in the road. Still turn it down a little just to be safe. It's possible that somebody else messed with the settings on this machine. And if you could Alt-Tab over to the Windows mixer, right-click on the volume control. Actually, increase the volume on the mic there would probably be good too. Turn that up. Awesome. I'm just going to keep talking while we work this out. So we've got the right microphone selected. So the Tau weapons. We started out with the M417. Why do we pick the M417 to start with the Tau weapons? Well, we wanted to start with an assault rifle. Those are our most common guns. And we wanted to start with something that's, had a good mix of power and popularity. Not super powerful. We didn't want to go with, say, the P90, which some people think might be overpowered. We disagree, but, we take fan perception into account when we decide these things. But also still reasonably effective. So, as I said, we wanted an assault rifle. And for that, the M417 was the best bet. For the second set, we wanted an additional assault rifle to see which you guys liked better. And then we wanted something other than an assault rifle. We went with the machine gun because, if you remember, the month before we had just released Dead Water, our new Fire Team map. Machine guns are very popular in Fire Team, so we wanted to go with a machine gun. Again, go with a more standard machine gun. Grand Red, we're being asked to lower the game volume a bit more, please. And so we went with the M60. So then, why were these new Tau weapons offered through the job system? Well, we thought it was really important that we used existing systems to introduce these guns to players. When we looked at all the different systems that we had available to us, the ones that were most easily configurable were the job systems, and also adding on the roulette system for acquiring the Nemexis nanotech. Using the job systems let us make changes to it without having to do a client patch. This is really important because this was especially with the M417, this was a brand new system, something we'd never really tried before, letting people earn permanent weapons as opposed to having to buy them with NX. So we wanted to make sure that if there were any bugs or any severe game balance issues, that we would have the ability to, if necessary, alter the job requirements or even pull them completely without having to do a client patch. So that's why we use the job systems, as well as, like I said, the roulette system to try and get the Nemexis nanotech out. Now, the one downside to using the job system is that unless you're really familiar with the job systems, going in and go finding the scavenger jobs and the upgrade jobs, you might not know they're even there. This is kind of like one of the biggest downsides to the Tau system as it's currently designed, is the fact that, especially for new players, or players who might not be familiar with the job systems, they might not even know that the Tau weapons exist, which is obviously not really what we wanted. So, which gets us into what are some of the goals of the Tau system? Why did we put this in the game? And to do that, we need to go back to last year, November, December, when the when the Korean development team came here for a few months to work on Operation Bulwark. We did a lot of bug fixing. We talked a lot about the future of combat arms, and we talked about some things that we wanted to accomplish immediately. One of the things that we really wanted to address is the perception that combat arms gives an advantage to people who spend NX over people who don't. We don't like that perception. The game's free to play. We want people to be able to come in and be competitive whether they spend NX or not. So one of the ways that we wanted to address that was by maybe giving players the ability to earn guns, to get them more easily through gameplay, including NX and maybe even, as you saw in the Tau weapons, NX rare class guns without having to spend NX. So we put this proposal together, sat down with the development team, hammered it out, and we were able to introduce the new Tau system in the third Operation Bulwark patch in late December. So I'm going to just talk really quickly about, as you can see, Grand Red's using the M417 Tau. We've equipped the NXCA Twitch account with all of the Tau weapons, and we want to see if he can get at least one kill with all 12 of them. So I believe right now he's equipped with all of the M417 Tau variants. Once you've gotten a kill or two with each one, feel free to switch to the next one. So, talking some more about the goals and the implementation of the Tau weapons, any large change to an established game has the potential to be risky. We all know this. We've all seen other online games that made big changes, try and improve things, and maybe miss the mark. So we wanted to be really cautious. That's why we only introduced one set of guns for the first Tau set in the end of December. We really wanted to answer a question. If we gave you guys this ability, gave you guys the ability to earn NX common and NX rare class guns, would you respond to that? Would the response be more positive or more negative? We expected some negative feedback from players who maybe had already purchased them, or players who thought maybe that it was either too easy to get or too hard to get. And we really wanted to see, how many people would actually take the time to go out and get these guns. Was the development time, was the investment in development time worth the reward in the player base? So we started with the M417 Tau. It's a decent assault rifle. It's got all 4 tiers: GP common, GP rare, NX common, NX rare. We created the Tau variants intentionally to be identical in every way as the original gun. As you guys know, there was a bug with the first set of Tau weapons in that they couldn't be modified, couldn't attach magazines and muzzles to them. We fixed that in January. It was always part of our plan that they be identical in every way to the originals, with the exception of the name, so that you would know if somebody was using a Tau, if somebody was using a Tau weapon or they had the original, just to have that little visual distinction. So the other thing that we did when we introduced them was that we didn't really hype it. If you remember, in Operation Bulwark, we just kind of put in a note in there like, hey, there are some new jobs, maybe some new guns you could get. Check it out. Because we really wanted you guys to discover this for yourselves. We wanted to see what would happen if we didn't push it too hard. And honestly, the response was really positive. We've been really happy with the number of players who have gone out, acquired these weapons, used them in game, you know, there was some of that negative feedback, but really not as much as we feared. So definitely positive results. A couple kind of anecdotes about how we originally introduced the Tau weapons. You know, one of the first questions we saw on the forums was, all right, Tau, what does that stand for? TAU, what does that mean? True story. When I was writing up the original proposal for the Tau weapons, I realized that we hadn't settled on a name for them, something to distinguish them. And I just went looking for something that was, say, a Greek letter that we hadn't already used and was short so that the names of the guns wouldn't overflow the area for them. And I just settled on Tau. Thought it sounded cool, looks cool in game, didn't mean anything at the time. And then we saw one of our players post on the forums, oh, it probably means tactical assault unit. And we're like, yeah, that's what it means, tactical assault unit. Spot on. And that's what we used for the announcement of the second two sets. So I apologize, I don't remember the name of the player who first guessed that on the forums, but you know, they're the tactical assault unit because of you, buddy. So good job. Another fun little anecdote from the development is that when we finished this proposal, sent it out to the development team, they said, hey, you know, we want to sit down, we want to have a meeting about this. So our creative director and I, we went into a meeting room and sat down with the project manager and their lead designer, Desperado. I think you've probably seen his dev blogs in the past. And we kind of were waiting, like, just waiting to see what the response was, because we had talked about how we wanted to do something like this, but we weren't really sure what the development team would think of this specific proposal. So we're like, okay, guys, what do you think? And they said, well, we like it. We like it. We just need to talk about the details of the implementation and when we can get this in the game. And we just let out a huge sigh because that, I mean, being on the same page as the development team makes everything a lot easier. So here's the question. What's the benefit of the Tau system? There's definitely an issue, a perception issue in combat arms where, as I said, players feel like if you don't spend NX, you can't be competitive. And we really wanted to address that. We really want to address that perception. Make it so that players really feel like they can be competitive whether they spend NX or not, and then it's up to them if they want to spend NX for a different gun or a different variant. So we definitely hit that with this. You can very, very quickly get the base weapons of any of the Tau sets. Just with a couple games, a few silver coins, a few spins of the roulette wheel, a little bit of Nemexis nanotech, and you can get them. I mean, it only takes 100 for each. That's only a couple of games. So we definitely hit that. So that's good for kind of new players or returning players. As for the hardcore players, these are players who really want to go out and get those NX rare guns. They're buying the missed ends. They're keeping track of all of the different ways they can get new guns. And we give them the opportunity to earn NX rare weapons. It's not easy. It takes a lot of time. And you're really going to have to work for it to get all the way to the third tier and then get that either 10,000 Nemexis nanotech for the 4 nanotech dossiers or 5,000 Nemexis nanotech and 1 advanced refiner. So I do have one question that came in from Dirin00. Wants to know what happened to the Combat Arms Zombies iOS app. Yeah, this is something that was done by Nexon Mobile a few years ago, I believe, and it was pulled from the iOS store. Unfortunately, this was before my time. My understanding is that just the game really just wasn't where we wanted it to be. We have pretty high standards for quality and performance here at Nexon, and if a game doesn't hit our targets, isn't as the player response isn't what we want it to be, we'll take it down and revamp it. So my understanding is that what's happened with the Combat Arms Zombies iOS app. Again, I wasn't on that project. I wasn't here at the time, so don't take that as gospel. So moving forward, I'm sure this is what you guys really want to know. Oh, actually, hold on. Check out your inbox really quick, Gray and Red. We just want to give a quick shout out to 2 players who wanted to send a bunch of items to the NXCA Twitch account. Zero Hope and Slugs on Jugs. Thank you guys for the items. Really appreciate it. did not need to do that. But if you were hoping for like a reward, this is your reward. You get a shout out on the Twitch stream. Thanks, guys. What lobby are you in right now? What server are you on?
I am a regular.
Regulars channel 2. So if you guys want to try and jump in game with our Twitch stream, so you guys can show up in the game, that's where you want to go. Regulars channel 2 right now.
And oh yeah, 71.
So, what's the future of the Tau weapons? Where are we going? Where are we? Are we going to be introducing any new weapons soon? What's the plan? So here's the deal. The Tau system was an experiment. We wanted to see player reaction to, honestly, the concept of being able to earn permanent weapons, NX class. We wanted to see if overall the perception was good or bad from that. The response has been primarily positive, but there are some problems with the Tau system itself. As I said, it can be hard to find those jobs. Using the job systems does restrict us to the number of Tau tiers we can have in the game at any one time. Obviously, the list of jobs can't be arbitrarily long. So we can't, for example, put all the guns up on the Tau system. But we want to do a lot more with the ability to earn guns. So the plan going forward is that we're working with the dev team to try and come up with a new system that achieves the same goals as the Tau system, but isn't the Tau system. So, good news, bad news here. Bad news is very unlikely to see new Tau guns going forward or the return of the Tau M417. Good news is you're going to be able to get guns in a similar method, but it won't be Tau specifically. When is this going to happen? I can't say right now. What are the exact details? Can't say right now. Just that we appreciate the response to the Tau weapons. We want to do more things like that, but we're not going to be doing more of it. So you might ask, why did you guys take the M417 away? Well, here's the deal. We introduced the M417. Then 2 months later, we introduced the L85A1 and the M60. And then we wanted to see if you guys knew that one of the Tau sets was time limited, would that cause a huge spike in the number of people going out to get them? And it did, but that didn't happen until we announced it was going away. We did get some criticism that we only gave you guys 2 weeks notice. We hear that. When in the future it comes time to remove the LA5A1 and M60 Tau weapons, we will give you 4 weeks notice, minimum. We definitely learned from that. If you guys also, I'm going to try and answer some more questions after the next, say, paragraph of speech. So if you have any questions, just post them in the chat. That Brozuka is monitoring. He's sending them over to me via IM. So as I said, no immediate plans to introduce new Tau variants, but we do want to do similar things in the future. We did have some, I apologize for being distracted, we just had a visitor come in asking for somebody in the room who wasn't here. There's always stuff going on here at the Nexon office. Next question that we saw from the forums. Is Nexon ignoring the system? We are definitely not. Even though you're not seeing new weapons or specific announcements about the Tau system, every week I get a report in on how many more Tau weapons have been acquired, who's been getting them, what ranks the players are who are getting them, how fast they're getting them, the number of players who have actually gone out and gotten all 4 guns of a particular Tau set, which I think is awesome. I mean, that's dedication right there, and that shows us who our real hardcore players are. If you're going out and getting all 4 M417s, all 4 LA51s, and all 4 M60s, that's great. So I read that report every week. We're using that information to build this new system that hopefully we'll be able to announce in the near future. But as I said, that's not going to lead to any new Tau guns in the near future, or most likely at all. Hey, Grand Ray gets a win. I think you're already doing better than you did 2 weeks ago, buddy. And what do we get out of it? We got a lot of great data. For one thing, you guys love permanent guns. And I mean, okay, we knew that already. We knew you guys love permanents. But having the hard data of seeing, how many of you are willing to put the time in to get them, that hard data gives us a lot more information to make educated decisions about. And the backlash against them, which we expected, was not as great as we'd feared. Obviously, there were some players who were complaining, "Hey, I spent NX for this gun. Why should this other player be able to work for it?" But that was definitely the minority opinion, and not as strong as we had feared it might be. So that's great information. That shows us that we can definitely move forward, with being able to introduce new ways to acquire guns. So I got 2 questions from the Twitch chat. First question, can we talk about shoulder peeking and name tagging? I mean, we can talk about it. It's definitely something that's on our radar. We've made some changes to maps. We made some changes to at least one map in Operation Bulwark to try and reduce the peeking issue. We really do have to do it on a kind of case-by-case basis because we don't want to do a full revamp of the game camera. It's kind of unlikely that we would end up with something that you guys like as much as the current camera and also fix the peeking issue. So it makes more sense to try and fix it on a map-by-map basis. As for name tagging, there's pros and cons to that. I mean, I like playing on Dark Forest. That's one of my favorite maps. I love the sneaking around in the rainy woods, and I like being able to, pick out players in the fog by, just sweeping my crosshairs over their name tag and then popping them. Is it a cheesy tactic? I can see that argument, but I'm really not very good at the game, so I'm going to take my kills where I can get them. It's definitely something we can talk about. We could potentially talk about making an option in a game room to toggle on or off so that players who like it could have it in their rooms, players who don't like it could remove it. I think that would be the most fair way to go about making a change like that. Next question I'm sorry, that question was from Seawolf C. Seawolf C, I'm not sure if I called out your name when I asked the question, but thanks. Next question is from Guelmo, who asks, are you guys going to add new ranks? Are we going to add more ranks above GOA? No. I can answer that one pretty flatly. There are no plans to introduce new ranks. Now that said, we are working with the dev team on a system to kind of a side ranking system, where instead of looking at your experience lifetime, we can look at your performance over a short period of time. Say, all right, so this is going to run for a month. Let's see who the best player at the end of the month is, or the week, or 3 months, something like that. Can't tell you exactly when that's going in. We're working with the development team on that right now on a daily basis. So we hope to be able to make an announcement about that soon. We think that's going to be more compelling than just adding more ranks above GOA, because players want to see not just, all right, who's put in the most time forever, but who's the best right now. So that's the main place we're going to go with that. So just kind of summing up feedback on the Tau system. Are we happy with the results of it? Yeah, we are. It really did hit the points that we wanted to hit, especially the first set that we released during the holidays. The player response to that was just really tremendous. And I'm not talking about just feedback on the forums, but just seeing the number of players who went out and got them, seeing the number of first-time players who went out and got these guns. It was really great. It hit our targets in terms of like, all right, if this many players get these guns, we'll consider it a success. We hit those numbers, which was great. And then we hit them again with the LA5A1 and the M60. So we're really happy that players have been getting these guns, using them in combat, and really enjoying them. We're getting some chatter about VBox. I imagine you guys are talking about the fact that VBox doesn't work in the game lobbies. That's something we're still working on. We're working directly with VBox support, as well as the dev team, to try and address that, as well as make improvements to VBox performance overall. This is definitely something that we are still working on. I wouldn't call it a high priority or a low priority. It's definitely something that is just ongoing right now. I can't tell you exactly when you'll be able to see progress on that. Hopefully soon. I know I want to get that fixed. It's something that I've been looking at for quite some time, and hopefully get that fixed very soon. So as I said, no specific ETA, but yes, we are definitely aware of it. We are definitely working on it. So just a couple things I wanted to mention really quick. As I said, if we can get 200 simultaneous viewers, I don't know what our number is right now. Brazuka, hopefully you let me know what we're at. If we can get 200 simultaneous viewers, we're going to do a special event all weekend long. Everybody who logs in gets a free black high-sec case. And let's see, what are we at right now? He is telling me that we are at... I love this IM. I can see that he's typing, but I can't see what he's written until he hits enter. So that's going on. We've got our fan voting on Rattlesnake versus Slaughterhouse. Vote for your favorite map, and we will put bonus EXP and GP on it for all day Saturday. And yeah, I'm seeing we do not have enough people to get this black high set. Come on, guys, tell your friends, get them to sign on. You know, tell them there's definitely something in it for them. We are not below bribing you to watch this stream. Also going on this weekend, we have our mystery box event and sale. What's in the box? What's in the box? We've got discounts on special mist cases, as well as double drop rate on black and gray high set cases all weekend long, as well as going into the beginning of next week. Hey, Gray and Red, I'm being told that GM Panthera wants to join you for a match. So once this one is over, just hold up, get into a lobby with him, and we'll have kind of like double the Nexon employees in a match, GM and production team. And one other thing I want to remind you guys, especially for our players in America. Oh, he fell off the bridge. You gotta watch out for that. Actually, I'm gonna jump off script really quick here. I was playing a match on Crystal Tower earlier today, and this was so much fun. I'm on one of the bridge spots, watching one of the doorways where the enemy team can kind of jump across, and my team's at 139 kills. And I see this other player he's got dual scorpions. He's the top player on the other team. He'd been shredding us every time he got into our backfield. He comes across, sees me, starts to try and come across. I open fire on him. He's trying to juke me, tries to jump across, misses the jump. So we're at 139 kills, and I see this guy just fall off the building. And so I'm like, all right, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Bam, we win. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, so I just wanted to say, for our players in America, on Sunday, call your moms. Call your moms, it's Mother's Day. Don't forget. So we have about 5 minutes left. We'll take some more questions. And also, if you have any suggestions for gear that you want to see Gray and Red use in the next match, where he's fighting either against or alongside GM Panthero, oh, nicely done. Definitely post that into the chat, and Brazuka will relay that over to me and Gray and Red. Question from Tommy Jr. 211. Will you bring Snowball Fight back? Yeah. You know, we know you guys like Snowball Fight. We think we might need to make some tweaks to it, a little bit of tuning before we bring it back. We didn't do it last year. We had other things going on, like Operation Bulwark. You know, we talked about it briefly, but decided no, save it for when we can maybe put some more work into it. Maybe we'll bring it back next winter. Or, you know, it is winter for our Australian and New Zealand players. So maybe we'll kind of look at bringing it back in July or something. You know, Christmas in July, that could be a lot of fun. I feel like we were just talking about this
last stream.
Yeah, last stream. Yeah, you know, weird case of deja vu. So yeah, Snowball Fight question. Twice in 2 streams, clearly very popular. So I've actually been watching the notes that Brazuka's been sending over to me and not watching too closely. Granted, how have you been doing? Have you gotten a kill with every single? He has gotten a kill with every single TOW weapon so far. So I think we can let you off the hook. Grab whatever guns you want to shoot with. Got a question from Bronxy. Any plans to add new features for the buddy list? For example, in-game status, AFK status. Not at the moment. I mean, we have a list of potential improvements that's quite long. Buddy list improvements is right now not near the top of that list. Not because we don't think it's important, but because we think that there are other things that are more important right now. I mean, it's a great suggestion. Obviously, I mean, I don't think there's anybody here who says, no, we don't